Okay, hi, I'm Teck Yen,
I'm Christine.
and we are from the SWS Clarinet section. So today we'll be talking about the common issues or topics about clarinet playing. So for one is how do you warm up properly? So one way that most of us maybe will do is long tones. Maybe start from a middle C and play 4 counts a beat all the way down to your F sharp. So and so on all the way down to your F sharp and back to your C. So this is a way that we will try to warm up for a very simple thing. After that, maybe we can go into scales. After that, okay, so basically our scales we will usually do concert B flat, then maybe down to 1 flat and 1 sharp, your concert E flat and concert F, and so on and so forth. So next we will talk about note tendencies, such as you can use a tuner. As you play each note, you can know whether your note is either sharp or flat. So one good investment for most of us would be this tuner here, which has both a metronome and a tuner. So we'll use it. So here. So with this, as you go up the scale or chromatically, as you can see here. All the way up to your high C. So with this, as you play longer, you can understand your instrument as well, so you know when to be in tune. Next topic we would like to talk.
Okay, so for instrument tendency, right, we have to take note of for both bass and B flat or any auxiliary clarinet. Our open G, our A, and our open G, our A, and our B flat are usually the notes that are very easy and easily out of tune and hard to control most of the time. So usually for us, when we tune for especially B flat, right, or bass, we usually tune with open G for the barrel. Then after that, we'll tune in high G for the middle joint, the joint here. Then after that, our tuning C, the normal high tuning C or B for this, the bell part. Okay. Then different people have different way of tuning. Some people will do like C, D, E, F, G, then they hold, then they tune a G, then after that they go press the speaker down back to high G, then after that to tune the high G, after that they go down all the way to the middle high C and B to tune the C. Some people will just tune the G directly and the high G directly and the tuning B, C directly. So for example, so if you are sharp or flat, you will pull or push in accordingly for the middle open G at the barrel. Then after that, the high G at the middle joint part, and the B and the C at the bell area. So when you're sharp, you will have to pull out. When you're flat, you have to push in. Yeah, which is quite similar to the brasses.
Okay, so next we will talk about how to practice a piece, such as maybe a fast piece. So if you have a fast passage, what we will do is usually play it slow, maybe at quarter equals 60 first. After that, we slowly increase the tempo up to the desired tempo. So maybe I can show one example. Let's say I'll take this piece at 60. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So once you're comfortable with this tempo, you increase it up next marking or by 10, whichever you like. So with this, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this we just keep going all the way up to the desired tempo. So next we can talk maybe about Okay, so next we'll talk about maybe points of how you play a note, such as the air needed, the tonguing, and maybe your embouchure as well. So for most of us, our embouchure, it differs from people, but once you find a suitable one to use, then we talk about the air needed. So from air needed is like how we do our warm-ups or our long tones. The amount of air that we use, it should be sustained and the same amount or same volume that's going through no matter what speed we're playing at or the value of the note. So the tongue is more of what kind of notes do you desire. So maybe for a lower note, your tongue could be in a lower position. As you go higher, your tongue position goes higher. So that is the three main things for playing a note. Okay, next. Playing, small ensemble playing. So maybe since we are all doing like flexi band right now, and we are all stationed like maybe 2 meters apart. So how do we actually like play nicely? One is understand which other parts are playing the same as you. So from there, you know which instruments are playing the same as you, and you have time to listen more towards them, even though they are very far apart. So with that, maybe if your band director allows, have sectionals with the parts that are doing the same as you.
So as you all can see, right, like our instruments have a lot of fingerings, like a lot of keys and a lot of holes. Like for clarinet will be holes, for bass clarinet will be keys to press. Then some notes have more than one fingering. So for different instrument will differ as well. Then like for some instruments, like for bass clarinet, the some piece will like if you have low F and low A flat, Shackelford banks. Then for instance, 16 bar 16, you have low F all the way for that bar, and after that followed by an A flat. But most people would like to use this and this A flat, but which is not really right because you'll cost some time to change the keys. So for instance, you can use the alternate A flat, which is this. Then you'll be instead if you use the normal A flat that you usually know will be. So it'll be a bit weird because you have some more time. You'll waste more time on trying to step up. So if you use the alternate fingering, it will become. You have less thing to control for your one pinky, which you will use the other pinky to help you to reduce the load of the pinky. So for another example with the same note will be bar 39. So for those schools that doesn't have this A flat, right, you can use the normal A flat, but you have to change your F to the other F. Okay, this which is the one at the nearest to the middle C sharp. Okay, so when you change for 39 will be, you will still reduce the each pinkies, means your both pinky will do the job instead of just one pinky.
Okay, so like Christine said, we have different fingerings. So one of it is maybe like we have a piece flower crown, where there's a concert B flat, our C, and concert D flat, our E flat. So our C, our E flat, and most B flats do not have this additional key for us to use, unlike the bass clarinet. So I would recommend using this C, this alternate C. So it'll be easier for us to bridge over. So I will go at a slow tempo on how normally people will play this. As you can see, I forced myself to move up using this. But now, let's say I use the alternate C instead. Okay, so now I'll go at the actual speed. See, much easier compared to this way. Another example I have is Spring Arrives, where we have a running passage from F, G, A, B flat, C, and back to B flat. Most people would, as we go faster, but for our secondary school kids, maybe that bridging will be very hard, such as B flat to C. So an alternative that I use is actually our B flat plus these top two keys. So this is actually a C. If you hear a normal C and my alternate now. Sounds about the same, right? So as we play this, we can use this alternate just for that beat. Much easier compared to with this, you're forced out more compared to it. Yeah.
You can look through a fingering chart, like in your junior books, those schools juniors book, band junior book, or you can just find Google online. There should be more than. You'll find a lot of different fingering, even for the higher range that you won't even see, or even for like some suggestion of different combination of fingerings. But you must try before you use it for the rehearsals and for whatever for the pieces that you play for.
Like, okay, so this is another thing that we are doing. So maybe there are songs that have a long phrasing, such as maybe a slow passage with 4 bars or even 8 bars of phrasing. So how to actually keep it all the way straight is, when you're playing, right, conserve your air but keeping intensity as well. So this is back to our fundamentals of long tones. If you can do a long tone while keeping it having a good intensity, it'll be very nice lah.
Next, we will be talking about the articulation. So you know, right, for our score we have different type of articulation. When you see a new score or even your old score, if you look through direct back again, you'll see different type like accent, staccato, tenuto, etc. So how do we practice the different type of articulation normally? So we can do it during our warm-up time. Like for example, we can do it quavers through, after we do our long notes, we can do the quavers or crotchet with different type of articulation to practice our own articulation. For example, we can do for concert B flat scale, 4 beat per 4 crotchet per bar. Then we'll do with do 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 re 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 mi 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 mi, so on until high do and come down. We can start with like first the normal one without anything, like for example. With the same exercise, we can add in accent for each note.
And so on.
After staccato. Then and etc. You also can mix them around if you are comfortable after a while. But for all these exercises that we have been talking about, including your score practicing, you have to use a metronome to follow, so that you have something, a tempo or like a speed, which is your tempo, to guide you along as you play, so that when you do with your conductor, then you will follow the beat as well. And main important thing is when there's a change, if you look at some score will indicate like 4/4 time signature, or they will have a sudden change in like different markings on top. That is, or even with a pause and continue to another transition. You must make sure that at all time try to look at your conductor at all time. So it's not that we ask you not to look at a score, but make sure when you place your stands, right, you have to place it that you can see your stand and conductor like a big TV, okay, which is the most important. So when you are in a rehearsal, the first thing is to do when you sit down, not to talk to your friend first, but adjust your stand first and tune yourself, warm up yourself. Yeah, that's
Okay.